Hey guys, Matt Kivlan here. The show I watched to check out the commercials and stuff was a show on the Travel Channel called Expedition Unknown. It's about archaeologist Josh Gates. He goes and finds important events in history or important settlements, like he did Stonehenge, stuff like that, and investigates where they came from, we can find. Something that really interests me, being into history and everything. It bores my family to death, but something I really like. As far as commercials, what I noticed during the commercials, a lot of it's around travel and everything. There was the Waze app, which is, maps and traffics and all that. And then also Uber, a lot of food ads, but not really American foods. It was more like international foods, like try this product, try that product, this pasta, this crazy stuff. With it being a reality TV show, I really didn't notice much product placement. The guy's mostly out on his own, just him and the camera, or him and his crew. I watched the episode on DB Cooper, which is a really cool episode. He actually got to go skydiving in that one, which was real fun. Honestly, I did think around 60% of households in the U.S. were moved more towards internet TV before looking it up and kind of find out what I could find. It was around 59% in a 2018 article on CNBC that I ended up finding. I personally don't have a cable subscription. We haven't had one for probably about a year and a half. We used to have Uverse, but we dropped it and picked up Sling, which gives us the option. It gives me the sports channels and all the history stuff, and then it gives cartoons for my kids and everything. And it has on-demand stuff. My son basically lives in Paw Patrol and Rusty Rivets, stuff like that. As far as family and friends, most of my friends don't have cable either. Most of them are using just Netflix or Sling or stuff like that. I haven't heard of anybody using PlayStation TV. I know it's real popular, but I don't know anybody that has it, so I can't really comment on that. My parents are even moving away from cable. They still have their AT&T subscriptions, but they don't really use it much anymore, and I know they've had the discussions about going to just Sling and Netflix, because it's got everything there, or, HBO on the go and stuff like that. So a lot of people I do know are moving away from basic cable. Here soon it'll probably be closer to 75-80% of people getting away from, like they say, cutting the cable. Of course, like the past videos, I've always talked about The Office, so I did look that one up. Something that interests me, the production house was Reveille Productions at NBC Universal Television. Reveille is a West Coast company. NBC is New York, based in Rockefeller Center in New York City. So you got a combination of East Coast and West Coast on that one. I think it changed throughout the show, as it went on. More people started jumping on board. But I think it started with Reveille coming out of the spinoff off the British show. Greg Daniels is the executive producer, but throughout the series, they started letting the actors, which I thought was pretty cool, produce and write episodes and direct them, and that kind of gave them a little more incentive. As to make sure that the show survived, because it's their livelihood. They're not just acting, but they're producing, and the people that were acting in the show, they really took pride in it, and that's something that I would pitch to a studio. Do the first season, let's executive produce these episodes. Try to go to that working class. People are stuck in the office, a little comedy to get them through their day and stuff like that. Because a lot of stuff in that show people can relate to. If you do work in the office, there's always that one Dwight. It gets on everyone's nerves. So that's what I would produce, and then as the show goes along, give it to the hands of the actors themselves. Let them take pride in it and produce and write their own shows, and that's how I would pitch that show. I do believe the way they did it, and I know Greg Daniels produced a bunch of other shows on NBC, which I enjoy. I think he was on Parks and Rec as well, and a couple others. So he's got it down, that comedy. He's got that niche where he's found out what he needs to do and where he needs to go from there, and he's been very successful. Thanks.